We can get through anything together if we just keep talking.
Oh, if Karen calls, I'm not speaking to her, and neither are you.
That's the spirit, yeah.
First of all, I'm going to be getting into spoilers, so you guys are free to speak about all that stuff. I'm very, very happy to see you two. I love you two so much. So, congratulations on so many bundles of joy, including season 4 of Trying. I adore both of you. The show has been so much to me. I'm so excited to chat with you guys again. So let's dig into spoilers. But first, I do actually want to know, I'm curious about the 6-year time jump. And I'm curious, what took you by surprise when you learned that you were actually going to, not just, from last season, what we saw, but now these kids are grown-ups, they're full-grown teenagers.
Well, we were on set doing season 3 and kind of asking Andy about what the potential ideas would be, how you would move it on, what would give us the most rich comedic and dramatic fertile ground in which to do another season. And he came up with the idea of a time jump, and that was really exciting because you don't see it that often. It doesn't happen that often, and it meant many things. It meant that practically we could cut down on our child shooting hours because you're quite hamstrung by that, but also I was really excited by the idea of seeing what it's like for Nikki and Jason to be parents of a teenager. And what you get is a kind of fast forward into the inevitable scenario of Princess wanting to find out who her birth parents are. And that gives you a lot of intrigue comedically and dramatically.
Esther, did you have anything to add to that? Because I feel like it's so interesting that it is very rare to see time jumps on TV, especially done this well. This was done very well. It's so organic. It comes very natural. And there's still that love and charm that we see from the first 3 seasons in this one, even 6 years later. So was there anything you wanted to add to that?
That's always the worry, isn't it? That it's not going to feel seamless. And particularly as well because we have 2 new actors playing Princess and Tyler, because obviously it's clearly they are at very different ages. What was kind of lovely about it was that, Scarlett and Cooper, who played Princess and Tyler, coming in and just feeling like they'd always been there. And it doesn't, to me anyway, it doesn't feel like separate actors. It feels like these characters have always been with us. And also I feel like there's so much in the script that Andy has written where you can kind of, get a sense of what has happened in those last 6 years, and kind of jumping into these characters 6 years ahead didn't feel tricky. It didn't feel hard. It didn't feel like they were different people. It just felt like they'd had a natural progression somehow. And it felt like organic. Yeah.
So, Jason and Nikki, they are tested this season, and their characters keep a huge secret from Princess by not revealing those details about her mother. And she shows up at the end. And I was screaming because the first 3 seasons, there's no, there's not a real, there's no cliffhanger. It's just everything's very sweet and it kind of, wraps up. But this time I was like, my God, we need to have season 5, which I'm going to be petitioning if we get it. So, following that finale, where do you feel each, Nikki and Jason are heading now with their kids after that, Kat's at the door and she wants to come into their life again?
Gosh, yeah. I mean, I think that it does open up many avenues of potential storylines. I mean, I bloody hell want to know what's going to go on next with her as well. And we've got the fantastic Charlotte Riley playing her. I just think that it's bold. And you're right, it is our first cliffhanger. And it would make for the perfect season 5 beginning, because I think it's going to give lots of people a kick, but a feeling of really wanting to find out what's going to happen next, because it's a threat to our beloved family unit. And, not just from our point of view, but I know the audiences love this family too and have rooted for them. And you go, oh my goodness, how is this going to affect these people that we love so much?
Yeah. So unexpected as well. And when reading it, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can't, when I was watching it, I did not expect it. I thought it was going to, she's done, she's never going to come back. And then when she did, I was at the edge of my seat and I was like, no, this did not happen. But there's a lot of feeling, and I feel it's going to be something that Nikki, there's a lot of internal, work with Nikki this season. Like, she was kind of working through a lot of emotions, and obviously Jason was there to support her. But I feel like for season 5, potentially Nikki's going to be kind of all over the place with her feelings. Possibly. Do you think?
Yeah, I wonder, and I guess it depends which route Andy decides to go down. But it's so confronting. It's almost like, I think Nikki's main fear is, and throughout the whole process, is that once becoming parents, that these kids are going to be taken away from her. That's always been a very present threat to her. So to then be physically confronted with that, even though it's something that she has sought out because she wants to help her daughter, and so she's sought it out herself. But then that lid got closed, that box got firmly shut when that character disappeared again. So to be fully confronted with that on their front doorstep, I mean, I can't imagine what that's gonna be like. It'd be nice to explore it then.
Well, it's so far, I have to say this season, your performance has been so amazing. There have been so many moments where I found myself crying and like tearing up, and you just give such a powerhouse, and it's remarkable to see. And so I hope we get award seasons, like FYC stuff for this show, because I love this show so much. And you both deserve it. So, Rafe, Jason's about to make a career change and head into social worker role, like how Penny was, Imelda Staunton. And I'm wondering, do you think that objective voice when it comes to other families and then evaluating his own could potentially clash with Nikki's more emotional approaches to, being a mom and being like, kind of very protective of her kids?
I read this thing recently that in a relationship is that two dysfunctional people, which most of us are, make one normal person, right? So that's the idea, is that you get two people together that together make one sane person. And I think that Nikki and Jason do that. They make one sane person together. And for her sort of perhaps capricious emotional state, shall we say, and her neuroses and her enormous empathy and love, Jason is much more pragmatic and has all of the attributes to become a social worker. And I found that really moving. Just that scene where I tell Nikki that that I've been asked to maybe be a social worker, and it's like you see Jason finding his calling, and that's really wonderful. And again, would be rich ground for season 5 storylines. In a dream world, look, this is nothing. We've heard nothing about a season 5, but if I was going to commission a season 5, I would get Imelda Staunton back to be Jason's mentor.
That'd be amazing.
I would love that. You guys had great guest stars this season. It was so great to see Jim Broadbent, that moment. Yeah, cool. It was very cool. I'm getting the wrap, but I wanted to say, Rafe, I think it's been like a running gag now that I love Pete versus Life so much, and I always tell you how much I love this show. And so obviously it's been like a big part of my identity, I guess now. I spoke to George Jeffrey during the pandemic, and I pitched a revival to him or something for charity, and he was like, "Ooh, that sounds like a great idea." But then I think his Twitter account had gotten hacked, which is the norm for Twitter or whatever it's called. Yeah. Would you ever want to return to that character of Pete Griffiths, or are you done with that chapter?
Yeah, I'd love to. I know, I'd love to. I was talking about it the other day.
Yeah, it's so funny. We were chatting about that.
Yeah, and actually, it's very nice you said, because I said to Esther, "Did you watch it?" And she was like, "No, it didn't look like my thing at the time." So maybe you can just tell her that it's actually a really good show.
No, to be fair, I've seen clips of it, and I was like, "No, that is really funny."
No, you said to me, "I've seen clips of it," and you thought, "This isn't for me." But now.
I'm gonna give it
record.
Yeah.
No, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it again. And I also just want to say, thank you for your support of this show over the years and the lovely things that you've written about it. It really means a lot to us to be seen in that way, and it's very, very gratifying. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, you guys. I love you both so much, and I'm so happy for this show. And I'm sending you so much love and blessings, and I cannot wait for season 5. So thank you again. Congrats.
Thank you. All the best. Cheers.